Hi, it's Kirby Summers, and I welcome you to my podcast, my true crime podcast. I'm gonna sort of give a shout out to you guys for liking my videos, for subscribing. I think that's really very nice of you to do because then you get sort of like some kind of notification that I've uploaded new information. Today basically, I am going to share that on my Patreon for my patrons, I have uploaded information that has never before been revealed connected to the Franklin child abuse scandal, subsequently called a cover-up, and then, of course, labeled a hoax. Even though there have been two books written about this, the information about the CIA's connection to this child abuse ring, which is really one of many, right? I think what I tell you all the time is that they're interconnected, that what happened at Boys Town, and frankly, it wasn't just Boys Town, but for some reason, that's really discussed more than anything else. Um, the children were gotten from other sources as well, and even some that weren't even, in the normal way that has been described as children who were abandoned. So that we know that Alicia Owen had parents, she lived at home, but she too became involved. However, I am going to disclose in the podcast I just uploaded to my Patreon for my patrons the name of the CIA operative who ran this operation, who basically ran Craig Spence, who has been many times compared to Jeffrey Epstein, and for good cause. He too had a very, very elaborate home, equipped with sort of the same way that Jeffrey Epstein was given this very large mansion by Leslie Wexner, equipped with all kinds of James Bond 007 listening equipment and television surveillance in every room. So too was Craig Spence set up in the same way. Not surprisingly, we know that Craig Spence committed, quote, suicide. Most people think it's suicide. I'm just always a little bit taken aback when somebody commits suicide when something that could hurt the public's opinion of a government-related child trafficking ring could be exposed. And then, of course, we know that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. And by the way, I began to accept invitations to appear on podcasts, and this is sort of what I was doing yesterday during that podcast, and I will be sharing with everybody when to listen to it because I do drop a lot of information that has never been revealed before. I decided, for my true supporters who basically go out of their way to be on my Patreon, go out of their way to be on my Substack, who support my work, not just with really good words of enthusiasm, which helps because this is dark work, okay? I'm sort of going into the nooks and crannies of a very dark world that even I was surprised to encounter. I knew there was some darkness at the beginning, but I didn't realize how dark. But in any way, I do expose the names of some CIA operatives. In particular, I do expose the name of the person who was in charge of Larry King and Craig Spence, connected to the CIA, in my patron-only podcast. If you can afford it, it's only $5. I urge you to become a member of my Patreon. That's where I host an sort of like a monthly Ask Me Anything. It's where I upload information that I feel is too sensitive and will get my YouTube channel wiped out in much the same way that my Twitter account was made to disappear in November of last year, and or become a member of my Substack, where I share very, very detailed articles where I go into the lives of each of the people whose names maybe you haven't heard about. Like yesterday, I uploaded an article for free on Substack. You can become a member and not necessarily have to become a paid subscriber until you feel you really want to read, a lot of my work. But I do occasionally upload free articles like I did yesterday. I came across a very fascinating to me article where CIA operatives are made to look as if they're lying. And to me, the names were not unfamiliar, but it seems that these names are unfamiliar to most people. So I uploaded it, and the one person who kind of understood what I was talking about, probably no surprise to me, was Professor Hamamoto, who, of course, kind of is involved in the same similar research as I am. And so he would have obviously gotten the point of why I uploaded a copy of that article. These articles, by the way, like the one that I uploaded again for free, so you can go over to my Substack and read that, are usually scrubbed off the internet. When I found this, I was just really so surprised that I was very excited to share, but I think a lot of it fell on deaf ears. However, I want to thank you guys for participating. I love, I try to read as many comments as I can. I try to respond whenever I can. And I appreciate the fact that you like the video, subscribe. And, for all of your participation in my work, for the comments that are very thoughtful, that include connections to other operations, it's really very much appreciated. In any event, I'm going to end this here, and I look forward to seeing you maybe on my Patreon. Who knows? All righty. Have a good day. Bye.